Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right. In honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories throughout the years. Today's episodes are Invasion of the Ferb Snatchers and Ain't No Kiddie Ride. But before we get into it, Dragon, this is the first episode that we're covering of 2024. We've been doing this since January of last year. So what are your thoughts so far, Dragon, doing all this?
Well, it feels like we're substantially into the thick of it.
All right. I mean, how are you feeling so far? Like, you enjoying the ride so far?
I'm enjoying the kiddie ride so far, yeah.
Okay, I guess I walked into that one. But so I say thank you all for the year that we just had, and hopefully this year is just as eventful, if not more, than the last. So we have, first up is Invasion of the Ferb Snatchers. So Candace seems to think that Ferb is an alien. Dragon, thoughts?
Fun episode. Very derivative of SpongeBob, I'm not gonna lie.
Which SpongeBob do you mean?
Oh, you know exactly what SpongeBob I mean. Don't be coy. You know what the episode.
The one where they go to the moon?
What? No, the robot thing. It's basically it's like
Crabborg?
Yes.
Okay.
There's bags of Crabborg here, man. Come on.
I mean, I guess so.
Mr. Krabs is a robot. In this case, Ferb is an alien.
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, time for entered hero Candace to bust those troublemaking brothers of hers. Well, actually, she doesn't really try to do that in this episode, except for the very end.
Doesn't it feel like if Candace had a theme song, it would be the Canadian, like a parody of the Canadian national anthem?
What makes you say that?
I don't know, just Candace, Canada. I don't know. This kind of sounded kind of. It feels like if they were in a pinch, it's like, hey, let's give Candace a theme. It'd be like an "Oh Canada," but with Candace.
Well, it rolls better than Drek Canada, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly. Oh, the whole Canada thing is still really funny.
Yep. I'd say Candace would roll better off the tongue than that.
Yep.
So other than it supposedly being derivative of Crabborg, what are your overall thoughts then?
Well, it's the classic misunderstanding comedy that you have, where the one character thinks the other son's off with the other character, and I mean it's refreshing seeing Candace not necessarily trying to bust the boys, and well, at least until the very end. But we do a fun kind of twist on that. Yeah. Doofenshmirtz's Doofenshmirtz plot has a great inator with it, so there's that, and it might lead to a certain time, but we'll get there.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
Oh, it's gonna be a doozy. We're gonna start this year off right, kids. We're gonna unwrap this present. It's gonna be horrifying.
Literally, in this case.
That's exactly what I was going for. Okay.
Okay, so the episode actually begins at night. At night.
At night. I burned my hand. At night.
Another Dan episode, of course.
Bobby.
And let me do a little checking on this one too. Never. I thought to say it might have shared a director, but it actually didn't.
Yeah, this was Zach Moncrief, wasn't it?
Yes. Jay Lender did not do this episode. But because he's famous for SpongeBob, but he directed quite a few episodes of this show.
So I do love the love letter to the '50s B movie genre here, where we have the boys watching essentially a parody of Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Invasion of the human overlord of what the human overlords.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, essentially there's a little movie marathon going on there. Candace gets sucked in because of the whole '50s B movie romance, cheesy romance plots of the era.
Yep. And she gets along well with their brothers are doing this whole time.
Which was refreshing, which was really nice. A nice little bonding moment there. And she's kind of casually talking to him, being nice to him and everything. And, they walk her through like the three signs of an alien, which is, like odd voice patterns, anatomical disproportionate, and basically if they're anatomically disproportionate.
And the key factor, we're moving their head to be replaced.
Which, I mean, it's kind of a dead giveaway, but,
Yeah, it's the 50s. It's a 50s sci-fi movie. What are you gonna do?
Yep.
And my home state was mentioned in this episode.
Yippee.
He's like, because remember, he says like when he's reaching for the hammer, it's like, did you mean this hammer? That's what we call it in Ohio, where I am from.
Well, to be fair, Jake, every time in shop class you had that moment, didn't you? Every time it's like, hey, can you hand me that hammer? Oh, sure, yeah, this hammer, which from Ohio.
Yes, from Ohio.
Jacob, we're actually, Jacob, we're in Ohio. So it's like, I know, but it doesn't hurt to remind us every now and again we're in Ohio.
Yes. Yeah,
what's wrong with you?
I'm a fan of my state. That's yes, we're in Ohio. Like, did you know that we're in Ohio? Yes. Like then there's like, I've lived here my entire life. See, you're still in Ohio. Everything is Ohio, Dragon.
He's very high on Ohio. This boy.
Technically, Dragon, this show gets this show mentions the state of Ohio 2 more times.
You know what Jacob's favorite cereal is?
What is it?
Ohio's. Yes.
Well, they're actually Oreo O's, which is pretty close sounding to that.
All right. So, let's see. So, again, we have the charm of the B movie being replicated, which I really like. The whole head in the jar thing. Very Mars Attacks-esque.
Are you a fan of 50s sci-fi stuff, Dragon?
I mean, I don't actively seek it out, but when it happens, I do enjoy, and I do like parodies of it, so it was enjoyable.
You're more of a horror parody or comedy kind of guy.
Exactly. Yes, I will say this: the Mars Attacks, while kind of humorous, it does disturb me.
I mean, it is primarily a comedy, but
yeah, I mean, it's an unsettling comedy.
It's like a more comedic version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right?
Yeah.
Like with a bunch of celebrities and over the top science fiction special effects.
Yeah.
Even Batman dealt with some science fiction stuff in the 1950s comics.
Yeah, it was not his finest year, but it was not his finest era. But yeah.
He had some good stuff, though. I mean,
in all honesty, when you look at the history of Batman, the down period really is the 50s era Batman.
I mean, that's probably true for like majority of the DC comics or in that era.
Yeah, because that was when they're dealing with the code and everything. So the 50s were, I mean, you had like the Silver Age stuff was good, but the Silver Age really flourished in the 60s. That was kind of like when they kind of didn't have to play too scared, but they were still like, they were kind of like on in the middle of things.
Yeah, and Brave and the Bold. I remember Batman Brave and the Bold primarily like it features more homages to the 60s.
Yeah, it's primarily 60s, but aesthetically it's 50s. That's the good thing to come out. Like, aesthetically, it's like late 40s, early 50s. So I mean, that's kind of a good niche to be in. But again, cleverness wise, it's going to be the 60s.
Yeah, but 50s is always a pretty neat aesthetic. It's always like kind of interesting to see, and of course has the classic B movie twist ending, like where it was here, wasn't it? I was a fool.
Yeah, very very kind of like whatever you want to pull from there. Very Twilight Zone-esque.
Yep. It doesn't seem as complex as Twilight Zone, but
I mean, the big thing this whole parody reminds me of is one of the opening bits from the Iron Giant, where you have Hogarth. He's watching the old brain movie.
which one? There's a couple brain.
Well, I mean, it's the one where Hogarth is watching like this 50 scientists, and it's the cheesy one where like the brain is alive in the jar and like it breaks, and it's what a waste of a perfectly good brain. And then, like,
was it a real one or something that was created for the movie?
it was created for the movie. I was saying it's an
Okay.
homage to like something like that, which I'm not be surprised. Like I think the living brain's like a direct reference to a 50s B movie thing, but it's
like the brain that wouldn't die or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something along those lines, yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Iron Giant.
I was saying Iron Giant, like the brain. I think the idea was like the brain like leaped onto the guy. I'm pretty sure because I know there was a scene where like the brain fell and the jar broke, but I don't know. It's still. I think the gag was he was getting to the good part. Where, like the brain was about to leap on the guy, and then the lights went out.
Would you believe me if I only said I've seen that movie once?
Sadly, yes.
But I have seen it at least.
Yeah, no, you have.
I mean, most of the time when you bring this stuff up, I'll say, sadly, I haven't seen it, but I actually have seen the Iron Giant. So,
Yep.
So that you can, but I've only seen it once, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's on Max at this point.
I have no idea anymore.
All right. And I don't have it on Blu-ray or DVD or anything like that.
That's the real crime. All right.
It's kind of hard to find, but unless I...
Oh, it is not hard. Come on, man. It's
Okay.
not that hard to find.
Okay, it's not hard to find physically in stores.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
There you go.
It's hard to find physically. I guess I could order it off of Amazon or something.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, enough of my lack of good animated movies in my collection.
Yeah, so... let's see. So Candace, she's trying to tell the boys the next morning like how the movie marathon went, and she's noticing, oh look at Ferb's cute little shirts, and she pops in on him, and he's in the middle of something, but he is speaking gibberish and looking really off.
Yeah, well, that's what she thinks anyway.
Yep.
Turns out he's just talking to his Scottish cousin
while chewing gum.
Yes.
Yes. So then, in shadow, seemingly, Ferb unscrews the head of the real Ferb.
Oh no!
We've decapitated Ferb. Egad!
Oh,
So
no.
she panics. She goes to the panic room, which is a really fun callback, and she is seeking proof to convince Phineas.
Yep, it's like Phineas doesn't seem too concerned with it.
Oh no! I mean, look, honestly, Phineas is like, if Linda cared more, just a little more, she'd be Phineas in this situation.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, okay, Candace, let's unpack that a little bit. It's essentially what Phineas is going for here. Of like, he knows exactly. Like, well, no, Candace, that's not. And she just goes a mile a minute, and then she's seeking proof in a little montage. Meanwhile, let's talk about that precocious platypus.
Yep. What exactly is Perry doing?
Well, first of all, we got to talk about the maid gag.
Yep. For some reason, there were a bunch of French maids in the lair.
Yeah, no, this is kind of a wonderfully edgy joke. I do appreciate. There's a bunch of attractive French maids, and that Carl hired. So your monogram's like thinking, "Dang it, Carl!
Dang it, Carl!"
He's have a Carl that is spent. Of course, Carl is too trying to hide this too, like a petite fortune, essentially, which means a small fortune, and he just thinks, oh, just a little bit of money. Good work, Carl. So he's lying to the man, Jacob. Carl, that perverted deviant. He's hiring French maids.
Do you have a problem with maids, Dragon?
Of course not. But still, it's just the fact that this is like government funding. He's burning through, all because Carl has some sick fantasy. That's entering the workplace.
It's
a holy zone, man.
Aqua says I joined at the right time.
Yes.
Yep, ranting about French maids.
So it's not it's just the fact that it's not the average maids. It's not. It's not just like, okay, well, we need someone to clean up around the place. Because Perry's like gone half the time. It's not. It's not just a maid. No, 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 no. It's got to be French maids, and not just French maids. When have you ever seen a non-attractive French maid?
I can't say that I have.
It's not like hotel maids. No, no, it's a French maid. They're trying. They're very. It's not just like they happen to be French. No, they're trying to educate. They're trying to get everyone to speak French.
Oh god.
Playfully, in fact.
And Carl's actually pretty good at it.
Suspiciously so. As I'm saying, I think Carl's hanging around the French maids too much. Again, very, very questionably. I think Carl is doing something very illicit here.
Oh no!
Behind in his hiring practices with these maids. I think we had a weird science situation going on here.
I don't think he built them though, Dragon.
Well, we don't. Jacob, the man, the boy, built copies of the Flynn Fletcher family. We don't even know if these ladies are human. Jacob?
Yes?
No, I mean, come on, man. Look, we don't know. They could be absolutely built from scratch. I'd like to think not. I mean, then again, though, it would make sense. Like, they're in a secret base. You don't want to find out where the secret base is?
Oh, God.
Well, the depths of Carl's soullessness know no bounds.
We're really starting off on a high note this year, aren't we?
Oh, we're just getting started, friend. Okay, now, of these Carls, who would be responsible enough to never hire French maids?
Well, we know for sure Carl Weezer would hire the French maids.
He absolutely would hire the French maids. Yeah, we do know that.
Carl!
Of course, one of those French maids would resemble
Jimmy's mom.
Exactly. Okay, so we know who the culprit would be. Now, who would be? So we know who the Phineas and Ferb Carl's like little partner in crime is here. Who would be the straight Carl of the bunch? Who the straight man Carl of the bunch?
Let's see. Fredrickson, I don't think he would.
True.
I don't think Carl from SpongeBob. I don't think he'd find that in the budget.
That's fair. That's probably a good call.
Like, I don't know about Moss. He might need to make a good call on that one.
Nah, Carl would probably he wouldn't pursue the French. He would want the French maids, but he wouldn't pursue the French maids.
So it's like a hidden desire.
It's like in a universal way of like hey, you want some French maids? Well, I mean, are they in the budget?
And okay, those are my two picks, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like one who would and one who wouldn't.
All right. Okay. So. Okay. The point being, I love the gag that one of them is trying to literally wipe off, Monogram's mustache.
He's like, hey. Could you wait for me to finish? No, Fifi. Mimi and Fifi, their names are as well. Yes.
Yep, just the fact that Carl's hired French maids, they can't keep trying to clean Monogram's mustache. Which in another context might sound sick and wrong. I do realize that now.
From behind, well, to be fair, they are doing it from behind the screen, so they're just wiping the screen.
There's a question like Monogram. He can walk between screens as we showed in the next episode. So
Hey, he probably, who knows, maybe he wanted them there too.
It'd be really funny if his mustache worked like a Wooly Willy thing in like on the screen, like where you could if you could erase the mustache and then move the hair like around like in other fun shapes and formations.
Actually, we have a contribution from Carl from Johnny Bravo, because I'm not going to try and pronounce that last name.
Yeah, the Carl from Johnny Bravo, yeah.
Would probably stumble into Johnny hiring the French.
He absolutely would, Jacob. Absolutely, he would.
I'm surprised if that wouldn't be a plot of Johnny Bravo.
Actually, it probably did happen, honestly, if I'm not mistaken. Carl I think he's been around attractive women, but very like somewhat unaffected. I don't know. I forget where Carl stuff. I forget if Carl ever got a girlfriend in the show briefly. I don't think he did.
I think the only thing I mean, I know Johnny didn't, except that like, the only two things I remember from Johnny Bravo are like the fact that a volcano would not take him because he was not a virgin
Yeah,
sacrifice.
that was in the first episode.
Yeah. And the fact that his only successful date throughout the entire show was basically with a deer.
Well,
One of the few successful dates then.
oddly though, here's the thing. Yes, with a deer, but wait a minute. No, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Here's the thing. Sorry, I'm stumbling because of this. Johnny, we've had a couple episodes where Johnny goes on these blind dates with very unusual one where we've had a deer, memorably. We've had a werewolf.
Oh God!
Which that's what I just want to make sure because I vaguely remember the deer, but I more vividly remember the werewolf because I watched that around Halloween, so I know about the werewolf.
Did we ever cover that for Haunted Holiday High?
I'm pretty sure Tiki and I did. I think so. I'm fairly certain. But regardless, we've definitely. I just want to make sure the deer is like you. You seem like actually with the deer, right? Because I want to make sure I'm not crossing my wires there.
I have seen the one with the deer.
Okay, so they're actually okay. So that's what I'm saying. They just reused the plot lines. Yeah, there was the deer, there's the werewolf, and there's the vampire. There might have been I think there was a Bride of Frankenstein once too. So I'd say it was like kind of a great.
Good guess. Clear. Technically, the deer of the day wasn't successful because the deer just wanted to make her boyfriend.
Exactly. It's all coming back. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense actually. But still,
the successful days. Like the thing went well with the were chick until well. Here's the thing. He made it through the whole day and everything went fine. But when it was like the third Tuesday, I think the gag was like, is this like the third Tuesday of a month or something? And he says, yeah, why? And then basically she turned into a guy named Melvin to collect stamps.
Oh God!
God bless the original. I mean, I like the whole show, but particularly that first season. Oh dear God, I love that first season so much.
And I just checked out
the great episodes are in that. They have the Adam West episode. It's all in there. Donny Osmond. It's all there.
And I just checked. You guys did do Wolf and Chick's Clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the name of the episode.
By the way, I saw Donny Osmond in live action recently.
Nice.
I think I mentioned it to you. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned it like during. I don't know. Maybe you did.
I know I mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned to you though on air or not.
I remember. Did you mention it during? What was it? Your.
Well, I mentioned the disturbance in the force, which had Donny Osmond in it. Do you remember me bringing that up recently?
You might have brought that up during your 20 film countdown.
Right. Well, regardless.
And I was in the comments for that one.
Right. Yeah, well, that's the thing is I saw him in kind of live action, and I was so distracted. Like, I can only see him animated right now.
I mean, I know him more, funnily enough, as the seeking voice of Shang from Mulan.
I can only see him like being struck by lightning, saying, "It didn't hurt my smile."
And speaking of, I'm going to see Rob Paulson soon in GalaxyCon in June.
Okay, let's not get carried away now.
Hey, we just mentioned Carl Weezer, so I thought it'd be appropriate.
You gotta have him do some Carl when you meet him.
Do I make a good Carl?
I'm not saying do it with him. See, you want the man who actually is Carl to do the voice. You don't.
What I'm just saying is, do I sound like do I do a good Carl?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. Do you think that's all I was asking?
I mean, I wouldn't gun for the man's job, but I'd say.
Well, of course I'm not getting a gun. Of course I'm not getting a gun for one of the most legendary voice actor of all time's jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be more in awe of the man rather than trying to take his job.
Yeah. Okay. Getting back on point.
Yeah. So yeah, after we got distracted with the whole maids thing,
the platypus has a mission. And that mission is to foil one Heinz Doofenshmirtz.
Yes. And what exactly is Doofenshmirtz's plan, Dragon?
Oh, it's a doozy. Doofenshmirtz's plan here
is to sell one of his innators.
Yep, it's to be wrapped up in a nice little bowinator, which I love this innator.
It's it would definitely make cleaning so much easier. And probably cleaning and moving would be a breeze with that thing.
And remember how Perry gets into Doofenshmirtz's lair this time?
Yeah, how does he?
like essentially it's like a job interview, right? Just
he dresses as like an evil scientist with the lab coat, the hair, and everything.
he's trying to sell it to him, right? Or is he trying to like to hire him? Because he says make me an offer, so I think he's trying to sell him the Inator, right? That's what's going on.
Yeah, he tries to sell Perry the Inator, and he just like, it's like, yes, I did say Ferb, but I am a little flexible, so make me an offer.
I just love it. You can also use it as like a coat hanger, as he puts it on the, just hangs it on the side,
and just like a treadmill.
God, just Doofenshmirtz is a wreck. His whole house is just a wreck.
It's probably why he created that thing in the first place.
Just the fact he owns like a whole building and he can't just have a nice apartment. Just... Anyway, so and also hanging over the treadmill.
Yep, this is Drizzlestein Little League.
His bat and the whole basket full of balls.
Yes, why does he have so many of those balls? Who knows?
Yeah.
They're memorable, I guess.
Yep. Anyways, of course, they get into a fight, and hitting the red button, and it said this device.
Hey, we'll make it go haywire.
It's going haywire. It's shooting around, turning. The way this thing works is when it blasts something, it just suddenly gets shrunken and wrapped up in explicitly into like a little white box with a red ribbon on it.
Wrapped up in a neat little bow.
Which is just, oh my God, I love that idea.
It's like, I would love one of those things in reality. Like I said, that would make moving a breeze.
Yeah, but we don't really, horrifically, we'll get there. We don't really establish what, like, if you can, like, just, if you remove the bow, does it I guess based on our ending, like, yeah, if you remove the bow, then it pops back out, right?
Well, you just have to be careful with it.
Yeah. So we'll get into the horrific implications momentarily. But let's circle back to that.
I'm guessing your Gritty Rubik's going to have a bit more body horror than what was featured in this episode.
Oh, yes. My friend, yes.
I mean, because the episode's already kind of disturbing as it is in that regard.
This episode's going to get letters, my friend. So, speaking of what, okay, so Candace, meanwhile, she presents evidence to the brother. She presents evidence to our triangular brother here.
Yeah, it's like, including all the different, like a ball of goo and even silence. Like, see, that silence is different from the usual Ferb sounds that we're used to.
Plays it backwards.
Yep, and it just still sounds like silence.
This Pavemeyer is dead backwards.
Oh God!
Thank goodness that was not the case, but again, it's like the whole Paul is dead thing.
Oh God!
All right, so let's see. So Phineas, smart enough to figure out. Okay, I see what's going on here with Candace. Okay, Candace, relax. So he basically walks her to the backyard and shows her what's going on.
Yep, it turns out Ferb is just a-okay. He hasn't been taken by aliens at all, and they're just fixing a ship that belongs to a friend of Meep.
Yep. So then she instantly on reflex, like, okay, problem solved. I'm gonna bust him now. So she goes to get Mom, and of course, Mom is this is just great. So we have Linda in the episode, but not just Linda.
Yep.
It's essentially Linda as an alien, and it's just some great comedy. Or she's like poking like the chicken and everything, and going out there, and it's like essentially she gets to see it. She gets to see the launch pad and everything, and then she's just kind of unaffected, and then basically do a Men in Black twist.
Yeah, but as it turns out, yeah, it's basically she was this little alien. I think his name is Garbog. Was just like piloting this mom suit the whole time.
Yeah, Jay, I think we need a word to the creators here very briefly.
You know where you want a message to Dan and Swampy?
I would like that. Yes.
Here you go.
Dan, Swampy, I saw what you did there. I saw it. That's a Men in Black reference.
Yep.
Very directly. Little face hole, small alien, walking around, just like the first Men in Black movie. It's a good pull. It's a good pull, gentlemen. I just want you to know that we all saw it. Okay, we saw what you did there. We appreciate it, but be on notice. Okay, we're good now.
All right. I need to rewatch Men in Black.
Yes.
I haven't seen that movie in quite a couple of years, actually. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
gotta be honest. I mean, if you ever made like the list of the movies, like the perfect movies or the classic movies, I mean, Men in Black's gonna be on there.
yep, like, it's like one of the best, definitely like one of the best sci-fi movies of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Like Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith made a killer combo.
Yep.
Anyway, and of course Vincent D'Onofrio is the villain.
Oh yeah. Oh god, imagine that. Oh, you imagine like Vanessa. You know, it's like what if he named the cat Vanessa?
Oh no. I only saw Men in Black once and I missed the ending. Come on, Cook. Yes, I recommend you find it and watch it to its end. It's a really good movie. You
Missed the ending.
might have seen it on like TV or something.
Ah,
And that movie I actually do have on DVD.
good on you.
It's actually a double combo with the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't know if I have I don't think I have the third one though.
Sadly, it does not have the bonus features the first two have.
Yeah, unfortunately.
First two are chock full of features.
You think with the advent of a media form that can hold a lot more media, you'd think they'd have more room for more bonus features.
Yeah.
But no, DVDs always had more bonus features than the Blu-rays did.
Yeah.
The golden age of bonus features are probably gone.
Yep.
Like, we know there's a fourth film, Code Geass, but Dragon refuses to talk about
Oh, fourth film's a myth. It doesn't count.
it. He doesn't like it.
No.
I haven't seen it, and based on what I've heard, I don't want to see it.
That movie's an insult to Liam Neeson. No.
I'll have to ask you what that means later.
Anyway. So, okay, let's see. So meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz, he's fighting Perry the Platypus.
Yep, and like the inator firing up, and like Doofenshmirtz even tries to like throw a chair at Perry, but it gets hit by the inator, and Perry gets like little hit on the head with the little ping on the head with the bow. But of course, like, things go horribly wrong.
That they do.
It's like when Perry launches one of the gift boxes into Doofenshmirtz's mouth.
And the bow comes off.
Yep, he pulls it off and it reinflates in his body.
Jacob,
I know exactly.
I have a question.
Yes,
Do
Dragon.
you know what time it is?
Dragon? I do know what time it is.
It's
Gritty
Reboot time! Can I ask a weird side question?
Yeah.
When you say Gritty Reboot time, do you move your arms or is that just me?
I mean, I occasionally do it. I don't do it all the time, but
Okay.
you're not alone.
I just want to say because I kind of put a little finesse in there, like I'm doing like the Kiddie show, like it's great.
Yay!
All right, so guys, I don't even really have to do that much here. I'm looking into implications here. I mean, it's horrifying what we see. Okay, Doofenshmirtz's body blows up with all of his possessions inside of the man. Okay, so one of two things happens here. Okay, and it's the gritty version where it's like turning the dial, where we're inverting the image just slightly, the lenticular image of doom, just slightly to the left here, where either instant death via obesity, I guess, internal obesity, and just oh god, it's just horrible. Not obesity. I know internally it's a horror show. I don't really honestly don't want to dwell on, but let's just say
it'd be more like internal rearrangement.
exactly. It ain't pretty. It's a horrible way to go. What could be worse, might you ask?
Well,
living death.
What could be worse?
Living death.
Lay it on me.
As in, he's alive, but he can no longer move. He is stuck like that, and he is forced to live out his days. Like he'll if he's lucky, he'll call Vanessa, and she's just gonna show up, and it's gonna be Ted. What happened? I had a bad encounter with the platypus. Vanessa, can you feed me? So that's just going to be his life. He's going to be there. He's not going to be able to move. He'll be, any time he sneezes, it'll be agony. It's going to be the worst. Again, it's like the man who's like caught on the train tracks after the train has come, but he's half of his body is still alive. That's Doofenshmirtz's existence right now.
Oh God.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Either any way you slice it, okay, it's either death after the gag, like oh no, gosh, I made a platypus and dead, or again, that's his new status quo now. Or how could it possibly get any worse? You might ask. I'm
Oh,
going to tell you.
we have another one.
Yes, the whole building got encased into the little box with a little bow on it, with Doofenshmirtz still inside. Couple ways to break this down, okay? Doofenshmirtz initially is living with either moments before death or while living in this new status quo. It's like, okay, he's adjusting just to the horrors that have just been inflicted upon him before he can really fully process it. He's crushed into a tiny box within a box. How might it get any worse, might you ask?
And smash it with a hammer!
Like a bug. Smash it with a hammer.
Is that where you're going with that?
No. Jacob, in the past, we've suggested that other people live in that building.
Yep.
At times. So Perry the Platypus killed a whole apartment full of people.
This gritty reboot has layers.
Oh, you have no idea. So Perry the Platypus killed an apartment full of people. An apartment complex full of people.
What does that make Perry then?
Makes him the new Doofenshmirtz.
Doof-
He's already got the outfit for it. We saw it earlier.
Doofapus.
Yep. Or here's the real question.
Or Doofenshmirtz.
Was Perry... Okay, you ready? You ready to just go exploded view on this gritty reboot to open this year up, right? You ready for this?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh, no.
When Perry the Platypus showed up in the evil scientist outfit, a switch was made. A doppelganger of Perry the Platypus took him out, pretended to be him. In reality, was indeed that evil scientist and wanted to get Doofenshmirtz off the table. A little scuffle, entirely part of the plan. Do you want to get even deeper than that?
Sure.
Monogram knew.
Oh.
He sent him there. He told him to meet his contact, get his little outfit, get his little costume there. And when that happened, the switch was made. Like Constantine the Frog, man. The switch was made. So basically, this episode secretly the ending of Perry the Platypus and Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Horrible ending for him. And because of the timeline of Phineas and Ferb, you'll know like each episode could be a different year in the future, different setting. Could be in the past. Could be in the future after we've brought them back using the copy machine for all we know, or just again as an elaborate ruse of like we have the copy of Doofenshmirtz to keep the status quo going, to keep the money flowing through Alka, and we have the evil Perry the Platypus playing the good guy in quotes. We're ready to take him out if he crosses the line, if he steps out of line with the programming. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty dark, huh?
Yep, that's definitely a good way to start off the new year.
There's a gritty reboot for you. Okay. So, in reality, after all that.
Yeah. All Doofenshmirtz does is the worst that happens is he coughs out or spits out one of the chairs.
Still, in all seriousness, though, it's a horrible thing to do. Doofenshmirtz, that poor guy.
Yeah, it does look very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So Linda, meanwhile, she's called by Candace.
Like Candace, like the Linda bot or whatever is teleported to the ship, but she still has the launch. But there's still the launch pad that she could use.
Yeah.
But of course, that gets hit by one of the straight beams that bounces off of a satellite. Because let's face it, the satellites bounce off of everything. Like everything bounces off of satellites in this show.
Oh yeah.
And that wraps it all up in a neat little bow.
Okay. Jacob, we're going to need to talk to the creators again. Daniel, Jeffrey, we got a problem here. Well, I'll let you. The Men in Black thing, that's all fine and dandy. But guys, where does the little box with the bow on it go at the end of the episode? Where is it? I'll tell you where. It disappears. No trace, no answer. We see it initially shrink. Candace shows up. She strikes a pose. It's gone. It's nowhere to be seen. It's not in that yard anymore. It is gonzo. It is gone bye-bye. That is a deception, sirs. Seriously, did that bother you at all, Jacob? Did you kind of notice, like, whoa, where's the box?
Where's the box? What's in the box?
No, what's in the box? Where's the box? It was here. Now it's not. Kevin Spacey's playing games with us here. What's going on?
It didn't really bother me too much because Candace probably never even realized there was a box in the first place.
Yeah, but then it kind of, that's the one, honestly, that is somewhat of a grip I do have with the episode. We do all that, and it's like literally the whole thing's wrapped up with a bow, and it just kind of like.
I mean, you kind of, but you kind of did see that coming, though.
No, that's fine. Seeing that, I have no issue with that. It's the issue that it disappears is what bothers me. It feels like it's an animation error, but it feels like either that or they don't want, they have to follow up, like, that's the thing, like, Candace should say, it got wrapped up with a little bow on it. I guess the fear is that she was pulling the thing and then it would come out again, but it just feels like they kind of, in writing themselves like a nice gag at the end there, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, like, well, we can't show this, we can't possibly show this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just is an animation error that the box disappears, but unless the boys hit it themselves,
which they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So the next up is Ain't No Kiddie Ride, where the boys trick out a couple of rides in front of a mall. How you feeling on this one?
Well, it was a fun episode. The boys souping up some kiddie rides. Got some Lilo and Stitch vibes on this one, but in a good way.
Yep. I mean, speaking of like relatability, Phineas is everyone, like, if you go on those rides as a kid, you're always going to imagine, like, hey, I'm going through space.
You go on a little Batmobile kiddie ride like the Penguin went on, Batman Returns. It's going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah. Literally, when the boys face it, literally in that case.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I actually do have a little bit of background regarding this one.
Shoot.
And it's actually, well, I guess less background and more something that happened after the episode. Like, you know Doofenshmirtz's plan, right? And you remember, like, how his plan was to use, like, the aerosol cans to write his name and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Disney received a complaint from the Consumer Aerosol Products Council, and they because of it, supposedly what they said was not entirely correct.
Yeah, saying the aerosols depicted did not... they would not actually harm the ozone.
Exactly. I mean, the original line was like, "Oh, nice, catch a villain in his own trap. That's not ironic by the platypus. It's just cliche. That's what it is. It's just plain lazy on your part." And so after they received a complaint about that, they switched the line to what it is now. It's like, these cans are completely harmless. So basically, because they received a complaint from the Consumer Aerosol Products Council. This is actually one of the other episodes that I mentioned, I believe, back in Raging Bully, back in season 1, where the episode was changed after it was already aired.
Mm.
So a little bit. So there's something interesting to be had with that one, I guess. Not necessarily censorship or anything like that. Just they received a complaint, so they changed it. All right, that's essentially it. All right, so the episode. We're back to the Super Duper Mega Superstore, which I would love to go into a place like this. Dragon, how would you like to go to a place like the Mega Store?
I think we've been here before, haven't we?
Yeah, I did there a couple of episodes ago with The Necessary Roughness.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice mall.
Yep,
It's huge.
So, we kind of call out the old same wardrobe gag with, Phineas and Ferb getting some back-to-school clothing, which is an addressment of, like, eventually they're going to go to school. We're never going to see that, but eventually they will.
Technically, they're technically in a season 4 episode that takes place. That mainly takes place in Vanessa's high school. We actually do briefly see Phineas and Ferb at school. Very briefly, but we do actually see it.
It just sounds sick and wrong.
That's why I said it's only very brief. But yeah, that's sick and wrong. Anyway, so Candace is of course here for get her new lip gloss, and the boys are given quarters for the arcade. So, what do they do instead, Dragon?
Well, they get sidetracked. They see the old kiddie rides of their youth. They have a little bit of a flashback, and they give it a try, and they think we could do better.
It's like Phineas is like, I may have over romanticized those memories. I just love that line.
Yeah.
I may have over romanticized those memories a bit. But with a little ingenuity and some unstable uranium isotopes, you can really trick these things out. Because nothing says fun like unstable isotopes.
Yep. So, let's see. Meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz walking to a diner.
Yep. And they just can't get his name right.
Okay, so a couple things. One, I love Doofenshmirtz going to a diner.
Yep. And it's right next to his house, too.
Look, until he's getting to the whole destroying the ozone layer thing, I'm completely on his side here. This plot, there's this ridiculous woman. Literally, they called this out. His brother is the mayor of the town, and she can say his name fine. That's ridiculous. Okay, there's no excuse. At the very least, he should have incinerated this diner. Okay, really,
So incinerating the ozone layer is a no-no, but incinerating the diner is perfectly fine.
Well, yeah, Jacob. If we destroy the ozone, where are we going to be?
Yeah, but people need to eat, Dragon.
Well, there are other diners that have better customer service, Jacob.
I know. I'm just
kidding. We incinerate this diner and maybe that waitress while she's inside. Just those two, though. Just the diner and the waitress. That's all.
I'm just kidding, Dragon. I don't want to get rid of the ozone layer either.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope not.
Anyway,
how many aerosol cans you got, buddy?
Well, I don't. Well, I have I have actually two. Those Febreze air freshener kind of cans that you spray and it makes your room smell nice. So I actually have at least two of those.
All right. Okay.
But again, as I mentioned earlier, they're harmless.
True. Or maybe that's just what they want you to think.
Yep, but this lady cannot get his name right, even though he's like, my brother is the mayor. Roger Doofenshmirtz is your brother? Like, oh yeah, and what's your name? Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Got an order for Heinz Doofenblatt? And did you notice what his order was?
It was a sandwich, right?
It's like whole wheat on rye.
Yeah.
Which essentially just sounds like a bread sandwich.
God.
I mean, if I'm saying that, if I'm understanding that correctly, it's like he wants whole wheat bread on rye bread.
Yeah, that's a lot of bread.
Yes. Maybe it was a good thing she couldn't remember his name.
Well, it's just bread, though. It's not going to kill him.
Well, too much bread can be bad for you.
Oh. All right. Too much of anything can be bad for you, though.
I know, but too much bread is actually not good for a diet.
All right.
Anyway. Okay, let's see. Comments. Bread sandwiches, my favorite.
Well, you know what's better than that?
What?
Canned bread.
Better than sliced.
I still love the idea of canned bread. One of my favorite things from SpongeBob ever. I just love how excited Squidward was about. They have canned bread.
Like, could it be
It
canned bread?
is.
Canned bread.
God, I love that so much.
I don't. What's the point of canned bread anyway? Oh, God.
Sometimes it's about presentation, Jacob.
Yeah, but it's a can and it's with bread.
It's also like powdered toast, man. It's like the whole powdered toast thing in the canned bread. There's like a whole like cylindrical kind of like bread industry.
Well, powdered toast makes more sense than freaking canned bread.
Have you seen what happens when you use powdered toast?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe I think I maybe have, but I don't remember.
Yeah, we gotta show you this little film our friend Chris really did about powdered toast, man.
Oh God, then I have not seen that.
Oh, you haven't? I mean, you want to see like some impetus for the Gritty reboot, my friend.
Oh God.
Oh,
is there actually going to be a reboot of Ren and Stimpy?
No.
I heard something about like they're doing a Ren and Stimpy thing, but
I would be shocked if they did.
I mean, I heard Eric Bauza mention something about Ren and Stimpy. I thought it might have been like because he was interacting with talking to Billy West. So
yeah, Bowser wants everything to happen.
Like so, I mean, technically, one of Bowser's first big roles was in the Adult Party cartoon.
Yeah.
So but he's come a long way since then. So.
Well, yeah.
Yep. So. Didn't the Ren and Stimpy show creator get canceled? Well, yeah, he did.
Oh, there's a riveting documentary on it, Code Geass. You really got to look into it. It's called Happy Happy Joy Joy: The Ren and Stimpy Story. Just one of the best animation documentaries ever.
Does it like talk about the entirety of the show, or?
Well, I mean, it talks about the show, and it's all everything filtered through John K. Because originally they did the documentary purely about Ren and Stimpy for the anniversary, but then the John K. thing happened, and there's like, okay, we can basically start off talking about Ren and Stimpy, but then we're gonna have this interesting building kind of like recontextualization of things through John K. and just kind of see how it pays off through the narrative. It's very well. Oh, it's one of the so well done. It was my favorite. It was my favorite movie. It was my favorite movie the year it came out, which I think was 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2020.
Like I'm not sure.
Well, whichever year it came out, that was my top movie that year.
Oh, nice.
I loved it. I still love it. It's great.
He had issues. Well, John K. definitely had issues.
Oh, absolutely. And that's like it gets into all those issues, man. Like where it came from. It's how it kind of is paralleled in Ren and Stimpy.
He has family and everything. Mainly his father.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Well, less said about that, the better, I guess.
Anywho.
Yes. So I was like, Doofenshmirtz feeling upset about the whole diner forgetting his name creates the ozone deplete-inator.
This is a giant spray can.
Yes. And the idea is to basically create multiple holes in the ozone layer to spell out his name.
By the way, fun fact, Jimmy Neutron used essentially the same device.
And he did?
Well, it was more of a solution for science gone wrong, but yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
It was the Ice Age episode where he wanted to cool. It was a hot summer day. He wanted to cool everything down, so he kind of accidentally blocked out the sun, which caused like a blizzard and snow and everything. And they had to break up the ice, so he used this giant, essentially a giant antiperspirant. Essentially,
I think I remember that now.
Yeah, exactly. Which is this giant can or head. So he did like a diving board thing on it, like hit the little spray nozzle.
So yeah, that's Doofenshmirtz's idea in a nutshell. Just to basically burn his name into the ground using that depleted ozone layer.
Yeah,
which is quite frankly probably one of his more dangerous plans to date. Despite, obviously having a major flaw.
Yeah, so, and of course, which we've already did, which technically I kind of brought up at the beginning of this, which obviously was not part of the context of the original episode, but kind of works its way in retroactively, I guess. So, what are the boys up to, Dragon?
Oh, those boys, they have souped up a number of kiddie rides, and Buford is the first guinea pig.
Yep, he's like, this better be worth a quarter. He's like, woo! he's like, just rocking back and forth and has slowness to it. So it's like Buford obviously isn't too thrilled until he pushes the red button.
Again, Men in Black. That one's a little more universal, but still, I'm just saying 2 Men in Black references.
Yep, 2 Men in Black references. Yeah, Elvis isn't dead. He just went home. Right, Dragon?
Yeah. No, that's the gag, yep.
Elvis is not dead. He just went home.
God, now, where's that movie? All these Elvis movies and series that we're making, it's like, come on, let's do that one next.
Elvis going home?
Well, no, it's basically saying, what if Elvis were an alien?
I actually think there's a YouTuber called Elvis the Alien.
Oh.
I'm not sure, though.
Yeah. Jim, let's just stop the podcast talk about all the Elvis media right now. Let's just do that. so it all starts with the Kurt Russell Elvis movie, in which he actually, fun fact, he actually played Elvis twice, but no, let's just move on. So.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so obviously Buford does like the whole, like that angle, and Candace, of course, witnesses the whole thing and wanting to preserve it.
She's going to sit there and she's not going to move, which initially good plot, but then Buford has a quarter.
Yep. This is going to be worth a quarter. And and considering what almost happens, he almost actually ends up killing Candace.
Yeah. Almost, that's had they not oh god, okay, imagine this, Jacob.
Yeah.
Imagine they only souped up the rocket.
And they didn't soup up any other one.
Yeah, it was just the rocket.
And they just see Candace blast off, and they're just like, Buford? What? You hooked up the other ones, right? No. Oh.
Well, you killed our sister, so you're going to jail. Baljeet, run!
But I didn't do anything.
I need a travel companion.
No.
Just grabs him like luggage. Like, too late.
Like, you're not the hobo and I'm not your luggage. Put me down.
You'll love it. We'll have refried beans.
But beans make you gassy.
You'll love it.
Oh god.
Good.
This episode
is with the ozone.
This episode has spanned 3 different cartoons.
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess Doof abandoned being Greeville.
Tragically.
Yep.
I do love the trap for Perry, though. Is the fact like the non, he used all the aerosol to cook and spray to make like the most slippery little like essentially can that he's stuck in.
Yep. It was a pretty clever trap to say the least.
Yep.
So the kids do make after Candace, who's obviously freaking out on the whole thing. Even Candace crashes through a barn. And I'm like, well, what do you know? Nostradamus is right. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. Or do you think it makes sense?
Well, I mean, it's like a prediction gag.
I know, but I don't remember Nostradamus or Nostradamus.
Yeah, Nostradamus. Thank you.
Nostradamus is right.
No,
but that's how the guy says it, though.
Oh no, you're right. That's how he says it. But yeah,
I don't recall Nostradamus ever predicting that a 15-year-old girl in a souped-up kiddie ride will break through someone's barn. Well, then again, I don't remember the last time I read any of his predictions, so I might be a bit off on that one. All right, so what do you think of Bal? Speaking of Baljeet, his actually runs out of juice.
Yeah, so yeah, Baljeet has made a turn in the positive these days. This is a good Baljeet gag.
Yep, Baljeet's redemption arc continues.
Yeah, he's given the universal dollar dilemma that we've all had. You try to put the bill in the little slot, and it just will keep spitting it out again and again until the end of the episode for this kid.
Yeah, but, like, I love the ending of the episode is just hilarious. It's just
Finally gets it in, and then like the ironing board goes, and then he kicks it, and then the bike goes.
And he just looks at the screen like, seriously.
By the way, kudos to our vehicle design.
You like the Kiddie ride designs?
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, it's like the rocket, the pony, the carts, and all that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like so. These episodes really spoke to you on a couple levels, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, eventually, Candace gets to like this huge gorge or whatever, because of course there's a gorge. And
well, did we reuse the gorge from? Oh no, we made that. Never mind, we made that gorge, the different gorge.
McGregor's gorge was built. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. Like when you've been talking about when Grandpa Reggie jumped it over.
Exactly.
Yep. That. So yeah. So Ferb actually comes in the clutch here after Candace doesn't have a quarter. He performs a little dance and gets a quarter, and pulls off an expert slingshot maneuver and is able to get her safe. What do you think of that? What do you think of all that?
I love Ferb doing like the little silver robot gag to get a quarter. I thought that was really very funny.
Yep. And
very Aardman-esque.
Aardman. What makes it Aardman-esque?
Well, I mean, you remember Curse of the Were-Rabbit, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly what it.
Well, I was saying, like, already in Curse of the Were-Rabbit, there's like a quarter gag where, like, they're in the Kiddie ride, and the Kiddie rides ran out of juice, and they had like you put a coin in there to keep it going again. I'm just saying, it feels like kind of like a grommet gag. Okay, we're out of quarters. Let's do something real quick to get the quarter and save the day at the last second.
But Dragon, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, folks, brace yourselves. My associate here, as he very much likes to toot his own horn about the impressions that he can do, the best, the definitive, honestly, the only one he can do perfectly and flawlessly and just absolutely, just like the best thing ever, like you've ever heard. Like you'll be saying, "Oh my God, it's like the real thing." Jacob can do a flawless grommet impression. Now, folks, I just want to apologize for this, the awe-inspiring, just kind of like slack-jawedness you're going to have when you hear what he does here. Okay, so brace yourself. I'm going to count him off. Okay, when he does, just with an open mind, even, close your eyes. In fact, at just how wonderful a grommet impression this is. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go. Oh my goodness, how wonderful was that? Oh my God, it's like the real thing. If he said that in the movie, it's like folks, if you saw it, it's like his mouth doesn't even move. It's like the mouth just disappears when he says that.
It's taken many years of practice, but I finally got the part down.
Yeah, exactly. The years of mastering, and you just it's stupendous. It's the best thing that Jacob has ever done.
Yes, I've peaked.
He's peaked at grommet, kids. I mean, the world's his oyster now. I mean, he can do anything. If he can do grommet, he can do anything. I can't do grommet. I'm terrible at grommet. He can do it. I don't know what the secret is. I don't know how he can do it. But, years of practice, I guess. I mean, I've watched Curse of the Were, but God knows how many times I can't do it.
Yeah, it takes a special skill.
Yep.
Ferb is my main competition, as you can know. Most of the time, he's doing a grommet impression too.
Yeah.
In fact, he did. In fact, he did a couple times in this episode too. So I have some stiff competition.
One day, Jacob's gonna have a booth at GalaxyCon, and it's gonna be a table, and it's gonna say "Best Impressionist Ever," and people are gonna walk in like, says, "Would you like me to do the Gromit voice? Like Gromit, you mean from Wallace and Gromit?" Yes, sir. Says, I'd love for you to do that. Can I record it? Sure, you can. He's gonna do it. They're gonna be amazed. They're gonna get pictures, and it's gonna be a whole thing.
Nick Park himself will come and shake my hand.
He'll shake your hand and say, "You know what? I couldn't do it better. I tip my hat to the man."
It's like Code. Okay, but all seriousness, Code. Yes, he's a silent character. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a running gag.
It's like, yes, it's a running gag. It's like this isn't necessarily a roast. It's just playing up the fact that my impression is of a silent character. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Ferb, this is one of the few episodes where Ferb doesn't actually speak at all.
Yeah, he's gunning for your act, Jacob.
Exactly. It's like I have some stiff competition when it comes to my Gromit impression.
Yeah.
Getting the mouth to disappear is really the hardest part.
That's the Olympic mastery for you.
Yes. Anyway, like, of course, Candace gets back safely. The rides are hauled off, and Candace looks like she's riding in just a kiddie ride when Linda comes to inspect it. Well, I guess there's a lot of rocking back and forth and slowness.
Yep.
And that concludes our first episode of the year.
Yeah.
Then I'd say we started off pretty good then. What do you say? Like, we had an extra full gritty reboot with extra body horror.
Yep.
And a chance to pull off a world famous Gromit impression.
Of course, the viewing audience, they're going to say, "Man, they crashed and burned after one episode this year. We're doomed."
Well, that's thinking positive.
I'd like to think they enjoyed it, but you folks in the audience, tell us, did we do any good?
It's like I'd like to think we did pretty good.
Well, you're biased. You want it to go good. They know.
Yeah, I mean, don't you want it to go good too, right?
I would like it to go good. I can't guarantee it's going to go well. I would like to think it will.
Well, Doug, considering we've been doing this for over a year and we've gotten a lot of positive marks on it, and remember, Code Geass even did a review of the channel overall.
Yep.
I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
That's the channel overall. It's not to say that it's good. It's clean marks all across the board.
I know. I'm just saying. And the fact that we have various regulars like Aquatad here who said he liked it, and Code Geass said he liked it too.
All right, we're on the right track then.
And LEB, who unfortunately hasn't been here for a couple episodes, yep. She was a regular too. So I think it's safe to say if we have regulars, I'd say we're doing a pretty good job.
Okay.
And that's a good way to start the new year.
Yeah.
So, but things are gonna get interesting next week because we have another two-parter. We have a two-part episode coming up. And let's just say, join us next time on the Recap-inator, where things get a little odd. Good night, everyone. Water. It's like drinking wet air.